So talk to us about your move, Jason. Everybody's been waiting. Where's Jason? Where's Jason? So,
Well, this move has taken a little bit longer than what I thought. So as all projects, I guess in real estate, you start off with a certain project. You're going to do A, B, C, and maybe D. And then it became E, and then it became F, another project on top of that. And then it was like, ooh, another idea on top of that. So we weren't going to do the hallway bathroom, which that changed. We wound up doing the hallway bathroom. So we had to deal with that, the hallway bathroom. And then we ran into a problem with the floors. So that set us back. And then we wind up doing something else as well. Oh, in the master bathroom, we wind up putting in a pantry kind of thing, like a linen closet. So we weren't expecting that. And then, so as the list goes on, and then I had to take care of the old house too at the same time. So it took me a week to take care of the old house because, you know, there's certain things at the old house that I needed to remove. That was like my ceiling fans, my fixtures and all that. So I had to take all that out and then bring it over here. So that was, and then clean up that house to get it ready for the next person. So
when do you think you'll have it all done?
well, if it makes you feel any better, I was told never.
It'll never be done.
My mother-in-law said never, you would never be done. She's like, I've been working
on move again. You'll be like, dang it.
She's like, I've been working on my house for 30 years and it's still not to where I want it to be.
Oh man.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't feel so bad. You know, I feel like it's going to be a few more weeks. So
yeah, it's definitely a project, especially where you got every room that you're setting up. And
yep, every single room we had to do work to. So and this would be the new studio. So this will be my office. You know, I got
very
the
nice
corner room, so with a window. And I think with the window being in the video, it works out pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Yep. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. And then I was telling Jason, I'm going to mimic his shelving and stuff so that you guys are really confused and think we're in the same
Oh
room.
yeah, you're going to lose everybody. Be like, man, that's a big room.
Just kind of mirror it.
Yeah, so I didn't know where to put the shelves. And at the other house, the shelves are on this wall, so you couldn't see it. So, but at the way that this room is set up, the door's right here, and then I can't have the shelves right there because you walk right into them. So,
so
I put them on this.
We don't want you walking into anything because that might mess up your pretty little face.
Yeah,
we can't have that.
Yeah, you might accidentally hit the shelf.
So, we don't want that. No.
But I think this is the best layout for this, and then I have my other room is set up. The couch and everything is in the other room. That's the metaphysical room. So all the pictures are on my Work to Invest Instagram page, and it's called Lot Square 88 because the square lot is 88. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's on a video on YouTube, or is
no? That's my Instagram. Is the pictures? It's on my stories. So,
okay.
Yeah, if you want to see pictures of the house.
Some people have said at going to Instagram. And actually, I've been kind of horrible at going to even Facebook, and that's usually where I'm posting everything. But yeah,
I don't go to Facebook like I used to. I just don't. You know, it's YouTube.
I post a lot there, but to sit there and scroll and look at everybody's stuff, I've got like 20 other things I got to go do. And if I get on that, then next thing I know, an hour, 2 hours gone by, I'm in some sort of weird mind coma. And so
that's what it does. It sucks you in and it grabs your attention, and that's what it's meant to do.
Yeah. And then I see an ad for everything I've been thinking about before I got on there.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, wait a minute. I don't think I said that one out loud. How'd they know?
It's funny but scary at the same time. You know? Funny and scary at the same time. Like even like a YouTube video, someone will talk about something, and then I'll go to my browser and say, oh, that's interesting. Let me look up that name. As I'm typing out that name, and it's like it knows the name and then the subject that I want. And I'm like, Does it know that because I was on YouTube?
Right.
And that's why. Interesting. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it helps me type faster. Be like, that's the
Like,
one.
oh, you know what I want.
This is cool. Big
Good.
Brother's watching.
So, yeah,
So,
it's nice when Big Brother is helpful like that. It's just a little intrusive when it's like, hey, wait a minute, I thought I was alone when I was thinking that thought. No.
oh yeah. So yeah, we're excited about the move and the transition. So there's still things I have to do to it, and we're not done. But this is a perfect point where I can breathe now, and I can like relax a little bit and work here and there.
So I have to ask, do you have a blue aura? Is there a blue light behind you?
It is that there's an
I'm
LED
kind of
light.
disappointed. It's the router.
No,
Okay.
it's actually LED lights behind it.
Oh,
And
see, I was thinking you were glowing with Archangel Michael energy. And I was like, ooh, look at your aura, it's so bright.
yeah, that energy is coming through. That Palladian energy is happening.
You should have just played it. It's like, what do you mean? I don't see a light.
Light. No, it's
Yeah.
an LED light strip. So that's what all the fancy.
Mystery resolved.
Yeah, it's what all the fancy YouTubers are doing.
Well, we got to get into the fancy YouTuber flow of things.
Yeah, now I need to reset my lights, reset everything. My microphone wasn't working. I was like, how's it not working? Yeah.
But you got that worked out?
I think it's going through my other microphone. Does that sound the same?
You sound good. It sounds good. So I've been getting a lot of people asking me, why am I so tired? Why am I so tired? So yeah. I think since, gosh, when was our last video?
At least a couple of months ago.
Okay, so I did a couple of the workshops too. So I did the soul emergence, the braiding the threads of the universe, and the soul transcendence. Those were a little mind-blowing, the way that Daniel came in and described the aspects of the soul and what are the threads of the soul and what's going on with timelines and different things like that.
3 months.
It's been a while.
Yep. Nice little break, huh?
All rested and ready to go.
Shoot, I don't know about rested. There was no break, no vacation for that one.
I feel rested. I've been to Florida, to Sedona.
No.
I'm ready. No, you're all like worn out.
Life, just skating through life.
Yeah, I think I even went to Idaho a couple of times in there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Gotcha.
But it is still about transitioning into the fifth dimension and getting people ready for that. So yeah. So one of the things that is kind of being revealed is that, and I don't want to limit it to the first wave or, according to Dolores, the first wave, or Doreen Virtue, the indigos, however you want to label it. But it seems mostly that collective, or at least that's what I'm running into personally, where they finished their first assignment of plowing the path and clearing the way and setting up the next group to do what they came to do. So now that group is being reassigned, and what's happening is they're no longer working with the people that need to be woken up. Now they're working on what's the next thing out there that we need to know. And so it's like they're out there collecting all this information, writing books, doing things like that, getting downloaded with, a lot of them are channeling and doing that kind of thing. And some of the other groups are doing that as well, but it's, for my particular experience, seems like a large group of the first waivers are really getting a new level of understanding, and now they're bringing that in and sharing it with the collective. So
Gotcha. So it's kind of like we did our part with this group. Instead of waking up this group, let's focus on who's already woken up and like just deal with that.
Yeah, the ones that are already woken up, or that have been doing their work, that have been being the way showers, are now getting the next level of information. just like Dolores Cannon brought us all into this convoluted universe idea, new earth idea.
Mhm.
There's more. And so now,
But
now,
wait, there's more.
but wait, there's more. For $19.99 a month. But anyway, so people are getting expanded in that way and being woken up. Like yesterday, I had a client that, when I already I already took it off of here, but in her ascension session, she was told she was going to be working with Master Kuthumi. And when we went to look up Kuthumi is the master that is going to be working with the age of Aquarius. And once the age of Aquarius hits, he's like the go-to master to help with the ascension. And all of this was on this website that was made before the age of Aquarius hit in December of last year. So it was interesting that she was going through her ascension session and waking up to all these new things that she was here to do, and then getting the information that she's going to be working with Master Kuthumi on what the ascension process during the age of Aquarius. So that was kind of interesting too.
Hmm.
So if anybody's feeling drawn to that name, Master Kuthumi, go look it up and see if that resonates, because that's,
Now, do you think,
interesting to me.
do you think the group that didn't wake up yet is someone out there, or is there a group working with that group to see if
Oh yeah. Well, if you think about it, so like the first waivers have been working with people and waking them up. Now they're over here, and then that group that they woke up is now working with the group, you know, and so it's kind of a trickle. It's trickling down. So the group that got woke up there is now doing that, and then when they're ready, they'll advance, and that group that they woke up will wake up the next group, and it just keeps going like that. So now the first wave is like they're done with that part. They don't have to. They can even. I've had sessions where they're told that they can even disconnect from the collective consciousness altogether if they want to, because sometimes it weighs heavy. And so they're told you can disconnect from that. You no longer have to feed it energy and healing. There's another group that's doing that now. So yeah, so it's interesting, right? I think that stuff's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's an interesting update. So
yeah. So if it resonates, take it. If not, you know, you.
Absolutely. Now, is that
my message? Do you? Don't take everything that comes out of these lips as solid gold or anything, but
absolutely. Is that coming through the QHHT sessions, or
that was through the ascension sessions?
Ascension sessions. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
very nice.
Good question, because yeah, I kind of am a mixed bag of both. So yeah, but that information about the new levels of information coming in, first waivers, and again, it's not just first waivers. That's just been my experience. But I have had younger people that identify actually with the indigo or the first wave, and they feel like they're on that path too, and that's perfect. You know, everybody's got their own guidance system. So if you are in the younger group, it's not to cut you out of that. And if you're watching this, there's a good chance that there's a reason you're drawn to all of that too. So
right.
You know, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
You're part of a collective that's ready for new information.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, what is the more, you know, like what is the more that they're talking about? Is it a good thing?
Well, I have to tell you, after doing those workshops, it's quite expansive, just looking at how diverse, how multidimensional we truly are, and how much information we're actually taking in all in one given moment, and how just sitting here with you right now, we're experiencing several different dimensions, and all of that was being broken down and being shown. And it was very interesting, you know, to think about that. So, you know, like if you were to close your eyes and imagine yourself sitting on a beach somewhere, you automatically just moved yourself into a new dimension and created a thread. You created an alternate reality. And then when you bring yourself back, you collapse that thread. There's just so many different, I mean, it was very convoluted. I'm with Dolores on that word, convoluted. It was just kind of
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah, once
And
we start talking about other dimensions, it's you know, if you never really dealt with that subject at all, it's like, whoa. You know, like even for me, like to hear that we're in all dimensions at all times. Like you
yeah,
think you're here, but you're not just here, you're here. And then the other part of you is in this dimension, but don't forget you're in all dimensions as well, all the way up. And you're
yeah,
still connected all the way up. I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
And the way that it was being described was really, to follow it all was just kind of like there's that sense of, oh, I get it, but then how do you explain it, kind of a thing. But like, here's this version of Jason, here's this version of Tracie, and then we have all of these alternate realities of this version of Tracie is playing out all these other realities and these other dimensions and these other threads is what they were being called. And those are all versions of this soul, this aspect of the soul playing Tracie. Well, then you've got 1,000 other aspects of the soul playing other versions of other things, and each of those versions have threads. And it was getting into all of that, and it was just like, what? And so it was a lot to take in, but very powerful stuff.
Now that was coming from Daniel in the workshops.
It was, yeah, from the workshops, Daniel, and there's a collective that comes from the gold energy. That's how I'm hearing it, is that it's from the gold energy. It's an Arcturian collective from another dimension that comes through the sun portal that's also been coming in. And I think some of that information came from them.
Gotcha.
So
you got a new group, huh? Or is it?
Well, I think they've been here for a little while, but when they trade off with Daniel, so here's how I've learned to tell the difference, because Daniel's kind of witty and
I'm listening.
little smarty pants.
A little
So
jokey.
what you're going to listen to when we go into the channel, you're going to listen. Daniel's the smarty pants in the masculine energy. The Imperials come through in the feminine and a little bit softer, more nurturing. And then the gold group comes in as kind of more of a stoic, serious, masculine energy. So
They're serious, huh? Very firm.
Well, they're not jokey like Daniel. They're not going to tell you they're eating popcorn watching the show. They're going to be kind of more to the point, and let's do this, and you need to do that. And they get a little bit more to the point with everything versus the joking around.
Yeah, if you think about it, for a group that has plenty of time and time is endless, they really cut to the point, right?
They're like, we don't have time, but you guys do. So I guess we better get on this.
We're busy.
Oh, shoot. That collective we were supposed to be working with just got old. Dang it.
Well, we gotta wait for the next Tracie.
Yeah, we got her. Who's going to tell her she's got to start over? Can you imagine? Oh my God. Guess what? We kind of took a nap and now you got to start over. Yeah, that'd be a bad day. So
Too funny. Well, before we begin, is there anything else you would like to share? Anything else that's coming through? Interesting subject.
I think that's kind of it right now.
Okay. Any announcements coming up? Any workshops? Anything?
Right now I'm working on what is going to be the next workshop. It's funny how that'll hit me, because I'll just wake up one day and know what it is, or if I sit here and go, okay, what's my workshop supposed to be? It's probably going to be crickets. But if I go jump in a shower or take a walk or drive a kid to work or something like that, then all of a sudden I'll get that inspirational thought of what it is. So
Yes.
But there is another series coming, and I don't know if that looks like 4 weeks in a row of just one day a week, 1 hour workshops, or if it's going to be another thing like the 2-hour workshop once a month. So I'm still working out details.
Perfect. And the only announcement I can think that I've done that's a change is all the meditation music, any of that music meditation stuff is going to be on my other YouTube channel, and I have a link in the description. It's going to be called QRE meditation music or something like that, because YouTube does not like that.
Oh,
Way too different of videos. So it wouldn't help me or hurt me. So I'm gonna start that. If you're interested and you like the meditation music, which I've been told, people like it. So I'm like,
yeah.
let you know that's going to be on a different YouTube channel, and I'll have the link in the description on that one. So
So
yeah.
is the meditation music, is that available for people to purchase and download, or how does that work?
I'll have to work on the purchase and download and look into it more, but it could be done. I just never explored it.
Maybe I
But
can help you with that.
yeah, but those files are big now. I mean, those files are like 6 hours files, so it could be done, but you're going to be downloading it for a little bit. Your computer is going to be tied up for a little bit.
Or Sean. One of those.
Yes.
If it was you and you're listening.
Yes. So, and I need to finish up the rest of them because I got 3 that needs to be finished. So, but I need to finish those. So there's going to be more music up there, and then I'm going to change the symbol, the logo to something else as well, the energy code. So keep that in mind. But that's where all that stuff is going to be posted on the other YouTube channel.
Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. So that's it for that one.
Yeah. YouTube and their rules, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's way too different videos. So for me to get any type of traction, it'll have to be on something different. So
Well,
it's fine. It's all good.
we'll make it happen. All right. Speaking of making it happen, should we bring in Daniel?
Yeah, is he there waiting on us, or is he doing something?
He's probably filing his nails,
Eating popcorn?
eating popcorn.
Well, I'm going to shut off my light because I have to set these lights now, and they're in my eyes, and they're like blinding me.
Okay.
If you can't see me, I'm here.
I've got all kinds of little lights coming in through my window. So look at that. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
It's right on my name. Nice.
That is nice. I can see it now.
Yeah, I know. I still never had that enlarged, but oh well. I guess it never became a priority. So, all right, I'm going to go get Daniel and let's find out what the collective needs to know. What's happening?
Let's get it done.
All right. Well, we almost feel like we need an introduction again.
Yes.
Who you are now that you've had your hiatus from us.
It's not like you don't know already.
Well, who do you think keeps knocking over the can of nails, right? So we do enjoy that you two are back together and we get to have these conversations. It is a much different dynamic and offers a whole different frequency and energy for the collective that is listening. So we're very excited to be here and enjoy this time with you and to share with the group that is here gathered and listening and participating in the energy and the frequencies of these conversations. So what is it that you would like to talk about today?
Well, let's start with, is there anything new that's going on that we need to know about as a collective? Is there any topics or subjects that we need to discuss that, hey guys, you really should know about this? And hey guys, you really should do something about it. Anything like that.
Well, all of you have been experiencing the energy flux of the up and down of the energy coming in and the shifts and the dynamics of those shifts. A lot more of you have been stepping into the reality of I create my reality, yes? And so you've been stepping into this energy of realizing that everything going on around you is created as a mirror for you. And when you start focusing on the desire and you start focusing on the things that you are loving and enjoying in your life, you're going to see more of that and less of the turmoil and less of the things that you don't want to see. Those of you who are shutting off the news and not paying attention to the disruptions and the static and all the noise that is going on, you are creating yourself a much better reality. And those of you who haven't quite figured that out all the way yet, that is still coming in for you. We see that as being a very interesting transition for you as you start to witness your reality shifting and changing, and you'll be like, oh, the world's becoming a better place. Oh, it's finally turning out, shifting and changing. Well, we have to say, no, it isn't. That is you. You are shifting and changing. And so the reality that is playing out around you is now reflecting back to you that change, and you're feeling the peace, and you're feeling the joy, and you're feeling the laughter come back in because you have done the work to get yourself there. And when you realize that you are these multidimensional beings, and you are experiencing these higher frequencies and dimensions, and that it is okay to experience the laughter and the joy and the abundance of all these things that you are working at creating, when you realize that you are perfectly within your own right to be in that frequency, it is not your job to take care of everyone else that hasn't made it there yet. And you have spoken a little bit about that with Tracie a little bit ago, but that energy of the shifting out of this servitude to others. We're not saying you're not going to be in service to others, but in the same detriment that you were, where you were keeping your more dominant foot in the third dimension. Now your dominant foot is in the fifth dimension, and your less dominant foot will dabble back and forth between the third dimension. Is that a good way to put it? So you're dominantly in your fifth dimension, and the less dominant side is now the third dimension. So you have flip-flopped. And so many have already experienced that. So that is good news. That is good news to share with everyone. Moving forward into your second half of 2021, what we see for a lot of you is we see that we're going to break this off for just a second, because we keep seeing this image of a kitten. And so we don't know if somebody just got a kitten. There's something very powerful about the energy of this cat. And we know that this is a very random thing to bring in, but we want to get it in here because it keeps showing up. It keeps showing up. It is this little kitten, and it would fit in the palm of our hand. It's very young. And if you haven't gotten that cat and you're about to get a kitten or something of that nature, know that if it is on your mind to bring a kitten into your life, there might be a reason for that, because there is a certain frequency or an energy with this new pet that you're thinking about bringing in. And it brings in a frequency that sets you to a new level of communication with the Lyran councils. We are hearing it like this: we are seeding the kittens into the families. We are seeding kittens. And so that is a funny way to put it. But if you are feeling this need to adopt a cat or a kitten, please consider it if it fits in your lifestyle to do that, because it is creating a corridor connection with that Lyran council for your home and for your personal ability to communicate with them. But the Lyran council is such a loving and most embracing, beautiful energy. So if that is something that you are considering, please do consider it. And now you have more information around why that is a pull to you to do that. We know that was random. We know that just got slipped in there in the middle of a message about the next half of the year 2021, but it wasn't going away, and we wanted to handle that. So we appreciate the Lyran's persistence of wanting to get their message in there right away. They say, before people get bored and quit listening, right? Well, that won't happen. You guys don't do that to us. You don't stop listening halfway in, but we'll give you mercy with that. Yes?
So if you feel gravitated to get a cat, that's another sign to get a kitten or a cat.
Yes, that is your confirmation. Please go do that. If it fits in your lifestyle, you need to be able to care for it, obviously. So make sure it fits for your lifestyle.
Perfect.
Now, what we are seeing with the next half of your journey of this year is that there's going to be more shifts and more changes with currency. We see people actually really benefiting from this shift of currency. And we know that there are some that are doing the Bitcoin. We know that there are some that are starting to benefit more from the already current financial system. But money is starting to shift in a different way because people's mentality around money has shifted over this last year and a half. And money has come to people in a much different way, hasn't it, for a lot of people? And it shifted people's awareness of money. It shifted people's perception of being taken care of. And so finances, where you once maybe used to worry and stress and be in fear of paying your bills, or am I making enough? Am I creating enough? Am I doing enough? This last year and a half has really benefited you to shift the energy around how you feel about money, around how you feel about how you attract money, how you spend money. And for a large mass of you, it has really shifted you into being able to receive, and receive with gratitude, receive with abundance, to bring more, to attract more. You might even be saying it is the weirdest thing. As everything else slowed down, the money started coming in. And there are a few of you out there that really know what we mean. And some of you out there that are experiencing that to a degree as well, but maybe not as strong as others. But you are finding yourselves shifting, and we want you to be aware that you are creating a much better life for yourselves as you are relaxing a little bit more, and the money is still coming in where you need it, and you are being supplied for exactly as you need to be. And as you let go of your fear and stress and worry around the money, it opens up gateways of money to get to you, and it comes in all kinds of different ways, and you start accepting and receiving it, and it is going to continue to grow like that. So the frequencies that are coming in right now are to help you create financial abundance. How fun is that? And so as you find new and creative ways to create money, to manifest and grow your money, maybe you're investing in the Bitcoin, maybe you're investing in stocks, maybe you're investing in yourself and starting your own business. Maybe there's other avenues or ways that it's coming to you. And just be open to the flow of money coming to you, because as you are opening that door, the frequencies that are coming in right now are helping to support you financially, and to see yourself. Really what the energy does is it says you are supported. There is nothing to worry about. Everything you need is supplied. All of your needs are supplied. And so what better time than that to create and manifest the abundance financially, the abundance in your home, the abundance in all the needs that you have to care for yourself and to create the lifestyle of which you were hoping to create. So that is the energy you're stepping into. We see that mostly in the summer months going into September. And then as you move from September to October, there is going to be a rest period is what we hear, a respite, a rest, a timeout. Looks like the timeout might last for a couple of weeks where you're just kind of feeling like, well, what is it that we're doing now? It may feel like a little void for some of you. It is good. It is a timeout for a reason. It is helping you to acclimate all the energy you just experienced. And as you acclimate and let your body adjust and shift to the experiences of energy that just came in, then it's going to start another wave of energy that is going to start coming in for the latter months of the year. And that is going to create not just a financial well-being, but a more of a health well-being. You guys speak of the water, the healing waters. Well, you might start experiencing a little bit of a shift in the water. You're not going to experience the healing waters just yet. That is going to be more towards the end of next year and the beginning of 2023. You'll start to experience a big shift in the water and the quality of water. And people are going to be really mindful of the water and getting the waters clean, moving out into clearing out the debris out of the waters. That is going to be starting now, and you're going to see the results of that further down the road, more in 2023, as the oceans are being cleaned, the rivers, the lakes, and the streams and all of that are starting to be cleared of debris and of waste products and different things of that nature. There's going to be a big push for cleaning of the water. So you may see that starting to happen. We are looking at, there could be some concerns down the road with different things. We do like to stay out of things that can become political, and so we will dance around this lightly. Any pipelines that are being suggested to be put in, we want you to just, there are two realities playing out with the pipelines. We want you to know that the pipelines are going to be, you're going to get the reality you focus on. That's how we will put it. What reality do you want? Now, we say you're getting the reality you're focusing on. If you're focusing on, I don't want that pipeline in my reality, I don't want that pipeline in my reality, what are you actually telling the universe? Because your focus is so much on the pipeline, you're probably going to end up in the pipeline reality, right? Because that's all you're seeing in your mind when you say it that way. So be careful of the words you're using when you're creating your reality.
When you mention pipeline, are you talking about that pipeline that closed down by the hackers, that pipeline, the oil pipeline, or is this a different pipeline?
We're not sure. We just see this running through, we see a pipeline that is running through a majority of, from north to south. It's, or south to north, however you want to do that. And it feels like whatever this energy is, it is not done. And if you want, we can really actually apply this to anything that's going on. We can apply it to everything that's going on. Be very focused on the outcome you desire, because that is the reality you are creating. But if you are using your words incorrectly, you may be creating the outcome of the desire you do not want, right? So we want people to be understanding that the words and their focus and their energy is creating. So if they're upset, say a pipeline, or upset about wearing a mask, or upset about whatever it is that is going on in the world right now that they do or do not want to do, it is important to take the charge out of that energy, the upset out of that energy, and start creating in your mind the reality you desire, so that you can be focused in that reality and set yourself on that timeline.
So would an example of a timeline that you want, like, for example, let's say I don't want to wear a mask anymore. That's a timeline that you want to create. And for the pipeline, like, you want everything to work with the pipeline and everything to be working again. Is that an example?
If you don't want to wear the mask anymore, you say, oh, I love that I'm living in a reality where I no longer have to wear this, and I'm free to go in and out of stores and out of public places with the way it used to be, with no mask on at all. Not, I don't want to wear one, because the don't want to is showing the resistance and showing the frustration, and it is actually amplifying the energy of wearing the mask. So you want to create the reality where you see yourself without the mask and feeling at peace and breathing in fresh air. And with the pipeline, you want to be able to see yourself moving this energy of, yes, if this is the reality, this is going, you want to have a reality where there are no leaks, where there are no disruptions to the earth, where there are whatever it is that you want to create. I live in a very peaceful reality where the land is being honored, where the resources are being honored, whatever it might be. And that is what you are going to be creating. So if you're in resistance to something that's going on, look at what you would rather it be and then focus on that.
Very, very interesting. Well, so it's almost like coming from, instead of coming from a negative point of view, come from a peaceful, loving point of view with the mask, for example, that
if the solution is already there at hand, yes. Be in the solution, be in the reality that you are creating, manifesting, that you would want to be existing in.
Got it. Interesting. So like for the pipeline, it would be like, this pipeline will be up and running in a couple of days, and logistics and transportation will go back to normal.
Exactly. Yes. My world is no longer disrupted by this. I am flowing easily with everything. The pipeline is is perfectly repaired. The energy, the flow of that is bringing everything where it needs to be, whatever it is that you are creating and manifesting. And what is it that is going on in the water? There's something going on in the water. It feels like it goes on underneath the water, along the coastline. There is something on the, we want to say, we are hearing in our head, which coastline? Crazy. And so we want to be along the East Coast, and it goes for many, many miles. And there's something that is going along the coastline. We're not quite clear what this is. It feels as if it is in the water. So we're looking, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad? How would it be received by the population? I guess is how we want to say that, because there is no good or bad, it just is, right? And so we're looking at that. There might be something changing within the water as the world is going through its shifts and changes. You might see something changing in the water. What we see is that it is close to the shoreline, but we're not sure what it is that they are showing us. And it could be quite the mystery, right? But we don't feel like this is a bad thing. We feel like it's just something people will start to notice, like, oh, I don't remember the water being this color before, or something of that nature. Something shifting and changing. As we mentioned, you will be, as everyone's putting their energy into the water and calling in the healing waters back, there's going to be things that get noticed about the water. So the things that are disrupting the water at this point have to quit happening, correct? Just like everything in your society that is disrupting you from the outcome of the fifth dimension is starting to crumble. You're going to start noticing something about the water as well. And if we think that that has to happen in order to get people to do the push towards, let's clean this water, we need to put our focus on our water. Without water, we will all die, yes? And so there is something about the water that brings awareness to a large collective of people so that the focus can be put on the water. We want you to know if something like that does occur, and that may not play out in your reality, but if something like that does occur, just know that that is part of the plan to bring the healing to the water, because we need the masses of people to understand that the water frequencies need to change. The pollution, the disrespect of the water needs to change. This is something that the whole planet needs, this water, in order to survive. So something there shifts. There might be something actually in the water that becomes present, that people are saying, oh, we need to do something about this. And we know, we're starting to see now that some of the sea life is showing up on shore, right? And that is already happening, where there are sea life showing up on shore, deceased and washing up on shore. And that might be part of what you see. And as that stirs the community, it stirs people, and they want to start protecting the water. So it is all part of a bigger plan to wake people up, to get them more aware, to stop fighting amongst each other and start working on creating a better world, right? Creating a safe place for your sea life to be, and creating a safe environment for your children to grow up and start focusing on what really matters. And so that could be something that you see in the not so far off future that is coming. And some of you may have already experienced that as you walk down the beaches, and you may see things that grab your attention in that way.
Interesting. So the shoreline, is this by Florida? Is this the East Coast?
It is all of the East Coast, from what we can tell. There will be things that people are noticing. Maybe let's say the dolphins, maybe they're acting funny, or there's things happening that shouldn't be happening, like certain sea animals that are in areas that they haven't been in before, and they're all discombobulated. We have already seen some of this already in the world. We have seen these things, but it's going to become more apparent. There will be something in it, and we feel like you'll be able to see it from the shoreline. We feel like it is right up there, right in your faces. And so there are collectives that are already in place to be awoken by this, that will be stirred by this, that will take action and start making the world aware of it. And so as the disruptions happen, or as things become concerning in that regard. There are collectives that are, we want to say they're probably not aware that they are standing ready, but they are. As soon as they hear of what's going on, or they see it or notice it themselves, or maybe they're sensing it and starting to research it, they're going to start drawing attention to it. It's going to start becoming a thing. So that might be something you see in the future rising up. And we just want you to know that that is part of the universal plan of creating the changes for the water, for the land, for the earth. If the water is not clean, nothing can survive. So
Right.
that is the place to start, right? So that is what we think the message is with this. There's probably enough information there for you all to, when it comes about, you'll know what it is. But we don't know beyond that, just like we didn't know beyond when the COVID hit. We only had so much information for you, and this is kind of the same thing. We can't really prepare you for what it might be, but just know that if it shows up, not to worry. This is part of the plan. And
Perfect. So this is positive and probably
it's leading to a positive outcome. How about that? That would be a great way to put it.
Interesting. Is this like something with the frequency along the shoreline, or is this something else changing?
We think that this is something else that's going to cause, it's going to cause people to wake up and start being more concerned about their consumerism, more concerned about their overusage, and they're going to become more aware of their consumption of products and need for products. It's going to help people simplify things a little bit more. We know that there's already been a lot of simplification going on, but there is a lot of what are the words we want to use, because it is not intentional. Society has adopted this way of just being consumers, right? And things are always there, the conveniences of things. And yet a lot of the conveniences come in, we'll just say water bottles, little plastic water bottles, and then people are done with those, and what do you do with them? Well, you throw them away, and then they just disappear, right? And they don't have a concept about where that goes. And so this is going to bring to light all the things that we can change, the packaging, the way we consume things, the amount of things that we consume, the things that we let go to waste, all of those things. It is going to start bringing to light the overindulgence of certain ways of being. And so we see it as a good thing. It will help people to minimize a little bit, to start rethinking. It is just like when they said no more straws, right? No more straws. And now we got paper straws that'll easily dissolve or be able to be, like if an animal gets caught up in something, they're not going to get trapped in it, because it's going to be made of a material that will dissolve or easily break, so that they can be free of it, whatever. It is too hard to explain in some of these areas, but there's going to be changes. It's going to put people in creative minds. They're going to be getting into a collective energy of how can we make this better. And nobody is going to, in the end, nobody is going to have to sacrifice anything. Everything, all the conveniences will still be there, but it's going to be better thought out. It's going to be more environmentally friendly, if we could say it that way, maybe. And so it is leading everybody to be more mindful and creative. And there are other ways to create and have the conveniences with a much better way of indulging in it.
Very interesting. That was a bunch of information.
Well, that is what we do. We give way too much information, or we talk just a little too much sometimes.
Perfect. Can I circle back and ask some questions on a couple of things that we covered?
You can do whatever you want. We'll see what happens.
Perfect. I like the sound of that. Okay, to circle back, you kind of answered one of my questions with the water and everything, but there was another part that I will ask a little bit later. But let's start with the first part of the conversation, where you mentioned the currency. So for the second half of 2021, kind of deals with the currency
Mhm.
and the money situation. So not to put you on the spot, but how's this all going to work out? We got Bitcoin, we got the electronic currency, we have the dollar, and then the dollar is supposed to come out with a cryptocurrency as well, and then China is supposed to come out with something as well, and it's kind of like all these things are all being repeated all over again. It's like, well, what's the point of having all these different cryptocurrencies in dollars if we're going to have all these different types of cryptocurrency? So how do you see anything on how that's going to play out by any chance?
We're hearing words like falling collapse of certain systems. Uh, it almost feels like it'll get narrowed down to three versions of this currency. And that will make more sense when the three come out. We are dealing with Tracie going, I know nothing about any of this. And so
I'll fill Tracie in.
she is a little bit at a loss, but we feel like it'll come down to three systems, three currencies. And it'll make sense when those three currencies come about, when those get narrowed down and get worked out. The others will collapse, but the strong ones will survive, and it'll make sense why there is three. Maybe one is credit, one is Bitcoin, one is physical, tangible currency. We're not sure how that will play out, and don't take all of that as again, we're just throwing ideas.
Won't hold you to it, Daniel.
Won't hold us to it. We're just giving you ideas of what we mean by there could be three. There'll be three systems, it seems like, instead of, and so we're not sure what those three things look like, but as it evolves, it will start to, you know, you have to create, and then it collapses, and you create, and you know, you come out with the best of it all in the end. But it's kind of a learning curve, right? You have to play with it and see what's working, what's not working, and then the best and the strongest of it will survive.
And to go off of what you're saying with the three, I've heard that once before, that it's going to come down to three currencies. And then if you think about it, it's the power of three. So that makes it a little bit more interesting. And then let's see. So the second half, would this be a great, you mentioned abundance and financials and money. So is that the time frame, the second half of 2021? Is that the best time for that to happen, or was that after 2021?
It is the second half of 2021. The energies that are coming in are coming in as a frequency to support you. What we will say this a little differently, because we do want people to understand they need to take responsibility for their frequencies and their vibrations, their desires, what it is that they want, what they want to create, because the energy that's coming in is going to amplify you in what you're creating. So if you're creating debt, be careful. It could create more debt. It could open up, you might go, oh my gosh, I went to the bank and they're going to give me this giant loan, right? You think you just won the lottery, but instead you're in more debt. So we don't want you to think like that. We want you to think about the abundance coming in, and your debts being paid off, and your homes being paid off, and being able to live freely, and being able to take more time off from work, and spend more time with your families, or traveling, or having fun, or whatever it is that you desire to do. And see yourself in that playground, not in the playground of acquiring more debt or bigger loans or whatever that is. And so we want you to understand that the universe wants you to be in a very good place, a very happy place on this planet. They want you to be in the high vibrations. They want you to be experiencing the abundance, the financial abundance, the love, the relationships, and all of that you desire, the things that you look at and you are wishing for. The universe wants you to have that as well. You have to be the one to calibrate your mind to go, oh, no, not a second mortgage. No, pay off the mortgage. Yes, that type of thing. So you have to look at, what is your relationship with money right now? What is your relationship with finances right now? Are you using a credit card every every day, every other day? Are you acquiring debt, or are you paying off your debts? Are you moving into abundance, or are you moving into a detriment? And so you need to make those changes, and you need to make those decisions, and you need to adjust your lifestyle to start creating more of what you desire. So hopefully that clears that up. But yes, the frequencies will support the vibration you are at for how you see that abundance coming in. So see it coming in free, clear, and beautiful ways that bring smiles to your faces, joyful, joyful ways the money comes in.
Perfect, perfect. So a perfect example is if you see yourself as learning about money and learning about investing and learning about investments, then that's the avenue you're going to take. And with that energy, it's going to help amplify your energy to go down that path, it sounds like.
Yes.
But if you always worry about debt and spending money and not caring about learning about any of that stuff, then you'll go down the path of more debt and less abundance.
Correct.
Gotcha. With that being said, would you have any investment tips, Hun Daniel?
Don't invest what you can't afford to lose. How about that for a tip?
Perfect, perfect. So
we think that you follow your own intuition with that. If you are drawn to something, by all means, please feel free to play with that. But do we have any tips? No, we do not. That is not of interest to us, so we would not know where to tell you to go with that.
It's okay, Dan. I put in a little humor into the conversation, but I did think that was interesting. You brought all that up. I was about to make fun and say, Daniel, were you looking at my 2021 planner? Because
we were playing in your books. We were playing in your books. We moved a few numbers for you. You are welcome.
Ooh, you added some more zeros to the end.
We put a few more zeros in there just to get you excited.
Perfect, because on my other YouTube channel, Work to Invest, that's where I talk about investments, because I'm a real estate investor and an investor as well. So that's one of the goals that I will like to wrap up for 2021 and hit the 100K mark. So
beautiful. You have everything you need to do that. You are limiting yourself.
I'm so close.
We want you to take the limit off. Take the limit off of that.
So ramp it up.
Ramp it up. You can do far better if you ramp it up a little.
Oh yeah. Well, the goal is up there, so that's the main goal. But for the 2021, that will be one of the goals to wrap up. And you put a big smile on my face when you mentioned the abundance and financials for 2021 second half, because the reason why I bring it up is you hear all this talk and conversations of what's happening with the dollar and the spending and the economics and everything. You're like, oh boy, what's going on? Is it that time? Is the bubble about to burst?
Is it gonna all crash down now? And you may see some crashing, but
true. Not everything's going to go up. This is true.
Yes, and some people will have the opposite mirroring and reflection of their energy as they are in the fear or not putting their energy in the right frequency to be a match for that abundance. So, but it is okay. Nobody comes out of it bad. It is all learning, right? It is all.
Yes, even I learned the hard way.
Yeah, everybody comes out of it and pulls their head back up above the water. It is all good. There is a lot of lessons out there for a lot of people to learn. So if you see somebody that is struggling, know that there's a reason for them to be attracting that into their life, and that they are learning something from that. And if you have words of advice and wisdom for them, by all means, please share it with them, but don't carry their burden for them. Let them have their experience with that so that they can learn and grow. And if you can help and assist in the way of advice, please do that. But we say, don't fix it for them, and don't take their experience away from them if they need that experience in order to evolve and grow and see themselves thriving as well. You went through it at one point. Tracie went through it at one point. Everybody goes through something like that at one point or another, whether it's relationships or money or health or whatever it might be. And you've learned so much from it. So just keep that in mind when you see people going through their struggles, that is part of how they make it to their awakening. And so as you're sitting there going, oh, but the whole world seems to be struggling right now. Wonderful. Let them, so that they wake up, right? So that they can
Yes.
find their way to the magic and into this manifesting, into this joy, into the fifth dimensional frequencies, and moving themselves out of these lower frequencies that they have gotten stuck in through their hamster wheel of society's expectations and religious expectations and all of these other things that have been placed on them. They have to shake that off like dogs shake off water, right? They'll shake that off eventually and be like, I don't want this anymore. And they will shift and change. And then they'll be like, that's all I had to do in order to attract all these beautiful things. And when they let go of that attachment, when they let go of that reality, then a new one can be created. It's very powerful.
Very, very interesting. I like it. I'm excited. Very, very excited.
Yeah.
You mentioned health for a little bit. I know it dealt with the shifting of the cleaning of the water, but was there anything going on with the health for 2021?
That is a good question. We see a lot of people coming into more balance in their lives. The scales, they tip and they teeter and they totter, and they've been going back and forth, right? They've been going back and forth, and now people are starting to get that balance going. Health-wise, people are really starting to figure out how to calibrate their own vibrations and how to navigate through. We want to say one of the things through the last year and a half that people have really come into their own on is their health, because going through all of these restrictions for so long, how many people finally just said, screw it, I'm going out to see my family anyway. Bag this, I'm gonna take this off and breathe fresh air. You know, the things that they're doing, they're making choices for themselves because they just can't take it the other way anymore. And when they did that, they're saying to themselves that they're not going to be affected by this anymore. And then they are not. They can go out in the public. They don't have to worry about catching anything, because in their mind, they're like, oh, bag this whole thing. I can't stand living like this anymore. I have to go out. I have to go and experience. I have to go share. I have to be around people. And more people are coming out. More and more people are coming out and interacting and participating in life again. And they have let go of their fear of catching something. And yes, some of them have gotten vaccines and some of them haven't. And so they are starting to live life again, but they are realizing that they are staying healthy, that nothing's happening. They went out and they met up with a group of people and they're okay. And so it is shifting the way that they are thinking about their own bodies and their health and staying healthy and strong and being in that frequency and that energy of, I'm going to be okay. And they are starting to create that reality. And there will come a time, and it is a ways off in the future. We're not going to put a date on it because time has been proven itself to not be consistent with what anybody says out there anyway, as far as predictions. So we're not even going to try that. But somewhere off in the future, there will be a time where the illnesses will be eradicated. That just won't even be a concern for humankind anymore. So
wow.
that is a good thing to look forward to.
Perfect. Now earlier we talked about water, and I wanted to circle back to it. And since we're talking about health, does the healing water have anything to do with this?
The healing water will have something to do with it, because people will feel more energized. Those who want to lose weight will start to find themselves healing from whatever it is that is causing them to hold the weight, rather it be emotional turmoils and or fears that cause them to put the weight on. There are many reasons why people carry the extra weight, and as these waters come into their system and move through their veins and through their bodies, it is going to heal those parts of them that have been living in fear around their health, around their weight, around even hair growth. For those that struggle with balding and losing hair, or having thin hair, your hair will start to grow back and your eyesight will be better. Your your whole system will start to function better, and you'll find yourself desiring healthy foods to feed your body. A lot of changes will happen as the waters start to transition back into their healing qualities.
Perfect. With the healing water, does this have anything to do with technology, or is this something that we're doing like energetically?
We suppose that the frequency could be generated through technology. That is not beyond you guys. You are very wise beings, and that could happen for you. However, the frequencies really are frequencies that could be set up and demonstrated through prayer, through intention, through thought, through sending love to the water, through means like that, loving the planet so that the planet can hold and sustain the frequencies. But we do feel like technology, like we said, people are going to be sent into a creative mind. They're going to start finding creative ways to work with the earth again, to be more compatible with the earth, to not abuse it anymore. And in those creative energies, the frequencies, the ideas, the thoughts, the advancements in technology to create these frequencies definitely could be a possibility for your future. There is a very good likeliness that that frequency can be created through technology and brought to the water, brought to the land, brought to the plants, brought to the food, everything. It could be brought into everything.
Well, is there anything else you would like to share for the YouTube collective? I know it's been a while. Is there anything you would like to share?
You know we like to look at them beautiful, bright, beaming beings.
Yes, please
So,
scan the audience and tell us what you find.
well, other than there's going to be a lot of people holding cute little fluffy kittens, we do want to see, is there anything else the Lyran Council would like to bring in with the message of the feline, of the kittens, or cats, they say, or cats. You don't have to get a kitten if you don't want it terrorizing your home, they say. But there is a frequency within these the ones that are feeling called to go and bring in the new cats or kittens into their homes. They are being set to a new frequency so that they will be able to communicate better. It seems like also the cats will be carrying a healing quality, a healing vibration with them that is very much needed for the homes that are bringing these beautiful beings into them. So if you are one of those that are called to do that, it is going to be bringing in a lighter air about your home, laughter, silliness, just sitting there watching this little kitten climb something or do something cute or do something funny or curl up in your lap and or lick your hand or whatever it is that's going to bring smiles and joy into your life and to bring a whole new dynamic of love into your life as well. It's going to shift you in beautiful ways. And so that is that collective. We did want to go back and touch on that. And then we have, we're looking to see what other messages could be brought to this collective. We see men with beards. We see men with beards. So if you fall under the man with the beard, or if you have facial hair going on, it could just be a mustache. It could be the goatee. It could be a beard, facial hair going on. The message for you is that you need to pay attention. There is somebody whispering in your right ear. There is a loved one, there is a guide, there is a counsel, there is galactic helpers, whatever it is, whatever resonates for you. They are giving you messages in your right ear. And if you feel like you're not hearing those messages, what we want to do right now is we want to call in your galactic councils around you to help you. If there is a block around your ability to hear these messages, then we want to call in your councils to come in and move the blocks out of the way and to bring in your new antennas to tap into these beautiful beings that are working with you, the collectives that are making their way through and trying to give you messages. And one of the things you need to know is that there are signs. You're being shown signs, and we're still talking about the ones with the facial hair. You're being shown signs, and rather it is a conversation you're having and a word you keep hearing over and over again, or an animal that you keep seeing. Like, it's like, boy, everywhere I look, somebody is posting this zebra on. It is like, all I see is zebras. It is time to go look that up. What does that mean? If you're seeing number sequences, animals, repetitive, flowers, even flowers have meaning, flowers, colors, different things. If there is something that is going on that has been repetitive, it is time for you to look a little deeper into what is the meaning of that. And we have a lot of different examples of why that is important. One of the things that happened with Tracie when she was on her trip to Sedona is she was sitting in her friend's backyard, and she was sitting with Erica, and they were sitting under a canopy of trees. And as they were talking about 0-point energy, all of a sudden this palm leaf came falling down right between them. Now they could have ignored that, but they didn't. They looked at that and they said, oh my goodness, this palm leaf. And really it came from nowhere, because the nearest palm tree was in the neighbor's yard, not near her yard. And they were under a canopy of other trees. And somehow this palm leaf made it through all the branches and all the leaves of that tree to fall right in between them in that very moment that they were speaking of the 0-point energy. And so they looked it up and they got a message from it, and they didn't ignore that just happened. They were very aware of it. And so pay attention, because it would have been really easy for them to continue on with their conversation and ignore and just kind of put off that just happened. Things are talking to you. Your world is talking to you all around you. So it is time to open those doors and start paying attention and see what is happening. You could drive down the road today and just take a trip to the local grocery store. And if you say, show me something that's going to give me a message on my trip, you're going to see something that you could take a message from. Or somebody in the store will say something to you, or something will happen for you. A door will open for you to get a message. And we realize that is broad and it can go to everyone that is listening. But we definitely want to tell the ones with the beards or the facial hair that there are messages coming to you, and it is time for you to start listening to those messages. It is time for you to quit doubting it, quit putting it off. It is time to listen. You have been told something over and over again, and some of you are ignoring it. And it is time for you to take action on the thing that you are being nudged to go do. Now, that being said, let's look again, see who else. If you guys are hearing this, we have a panting dog over here. It's getting very warm. The sun is setting in the window in here, and he is walking around panting and panting.
Is that what I thought? I heard a frog. Could that be it?
That would be their older dog. He is very throaty at this point in his age, and yes, so he is walking around panting, and he is making himself known. And there's not much we can do, and he can wait until we are done with transmitting this energy. So what we want to do is we want to keep looking. We're going to look here for any other messages for the collective. There's a group of you that like to draw stars. You draw stars, you doodle, whatever it is, but you are very drawn to the stars. And there's reasons for that. You are getting downloads whenever you are sitting patiently just doodling and you're drawing in the stars. Just know that you are being prompted to spend that time drawing the stars, because when you do that, you quiet your mind enough to allow for the energy to come in. You might notice that your thoughts are becoming more focused, or whatever you are daydreaming about, could be something very productive, inspirational ideas coming in when you are doodling like that. And so if you are one of those who doodles the stars, that is for you.
Comment below if you choose
Actually,
to.
we do like that. We like it when you guys let us know if the messages are resonating with you. That is good. Some of you are going to get pink roses this next few days. After listening to this, you're going to get a pink rose. And if you get a pink rose, you definitely need to comment down below, because the pink rose is a sign to you that you are going the right direction and that you need to follow your intuition, and that there is a new gift coming to you. So pay attention. That gift could be a psychic gift. It could be a physical gift that is being handed to you besides the rose. It could be a new direction to take. It could be a move that you need to make. It could be a vacation that you're going to go on where something significant will come about for you, some shift or transition in the way you're thinking. But if you get a pink rose this week, then know that there is something coming for you. There is a gift of some sort coming for you in some way. And to pay attention so that when it comes, and it can be something little and subtle, but we want you to pay attention. And whatever it is, when you get the rose, let us know. And then when you figure out what the gift is, what is the gift, then let us know, because that would be fun as well. And with that, we're hearing that is enough for now. And we can bring Tracie back if you like, or do you have other questions before we do that?
No, just two small questions. Hopefully they're small for you, but you know, who knows what the answers will bring. You mentioned the repetitiveness. What do you have any information on the number 8? Seeing like 88 or 888, anything like that?
Well, Jason, you have not listened to our other transmissions that are on Tracie's page.
I know. I knew what it was, but I wanted to get a second opinion.
We want you to know that if you are seeing 8, that is your infinity symbol. You are working with an infinity energy. You have the ability to change the frequencies of a room when you walk into a room. So if you are working with that symbol, with the 8, that is the best way for the universe to show you your infinity energy. You are bringing a frequency into a room where you could calibrate it to whatever it is you desire for that room. And if you are one of those people that are working with the infinity symbol, then that means that you have integrity, because you could really mess with people, right? And so if you walk into a room and you set the intention, everybody gets along and is kind and loving towards each other, and then you set that in motion with the infinity symbol, and then go into the room and see what happens. See what happens when you set that for your home, for your family, for parties that you go to, whatever it is. Set some intentions of high vibrational interactions, and use your love and your integrity when you work with that energy, and see what happens. But that is one of them. 8 is also a number of being supported, being taken care of. You'll always have what you need. You're always going to have your supplies. Whatever it is that you need is going to be there for you. You are infinitely supplied for. You are a creator. You can look at the 8er. You are a creator, and you can
I like that.
Yes, and you can create with this energy of the infinity symbol. You can create, you can manifest. You are a manifester. So that is what we have for you for 8. What was your other question?
You can, whatever information you can provide on this one, but if not, no biggie. But you mentioned Tracie and them were talking about 0 point energy. Is there anything you would like to share with that?
Well, we do want to say Erica Middlemiss is being very, very divinely guided to write a book about it, about the law of one and a lot of different energies. And she is going to have an amazing book to be hopefully soon to be released on that. The 0 point, what we have to say about 0 point is this is the place to take yourself that will move you into everything you ever want to know, everything you ever want to be. When you can move yourself into this space of neutrality, of 0 point, of a frequency where you can look at everything without judgment, without emotional charge, without questions, and just observe, you will find all your answers there. And it sounds easy, but it is something to work towards for sure. And when you can find that place, when you can be in that neutrality, that is also where you're going to find the unconditional love. And that is something else to experience. When you experience the unconditional love as you are in the space of non-judgment and just being the observer. And so play with that, be in that energy. That would be fun to see what people get with that.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, well, I don't know how long. I lost track of time. I think Tracie's only been under for 30 minutes. So, but I do not have any more questions. If there's nothing else you would like to share, you can bring Tracie's back and we'll save it for the next session.
Beautiful. We are so grateful to be back within this particular collective. We know a lot of you have come over to follow on the other page as well. We thank you all for being here. We thank you for being part of the energy and the expansion and the growth that is happening on the planet, and all the energy and the dedication and the beautiful, beautiful thoughts and powerful movements that you all have made in your own lives, the transitions, the shifts, and all the work that you have put into it. It does mean something. It has been helping, and you are powerful and beautiful beings. So we are so grateful for everything that you have been doing to assist in moving forward in a new world, in a new way of being. So we thank you for that. And with that, we will bring Tracie back in. Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, this room just all of a sudden felt very small. I'm going to get up real quick and let this dog out before
Perfect.
he hyperventilates.
Cool. Well, it was definitely a very interesting session. Daniel never fails to provide. So
I was a little bit surprised at, like the Bitcoin information, because that is nothing that I wouldn't understand it if you tried to explain it to me and drew me pictures and everything. And it's interesting.
You could call it convoluted the financing.
Yeah, the convoluted financing. The stuff with the planet, like it just seemed like I kept wanting to go over to the East Coast. The water and other discrepancies, like whatever the pipeline thing was or whatever that was, it just felt like it was all more on the east side. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that's
well, at first, when you kept on saying something's in the water and it's on the East Coast, I know there's that that underwater river or flow, one of those ocean flows.
Oh, okay.
Like a ring, where a current. I forgot the name of the current, but at first I thought that's what he was getting at. But it almost sounded very similar, like a little bit of changes was going to happen, and then after that, Daniel said that the water was going to get clearer, and either clearer or like look different, like a different shade of color. So
that's kind of the impression I got. It was going to change its color a little bit, and people were going to notice that it looks different. I don't know. I didn't get the sense that there was going to be like, at least I hope I'm right with this. This could be where I get attached to it. I'm like, no, don't let the pretty fish die, kind of thing. But,
right.
He said there could be some of that showing up where sea life will wash up on the shore. But I didn't get really a sense that was going to be like this mass thing. It was more like there was going to be something about the water that we could all see visually change. And that was going to wake people up that we need to clean the water. But changes. It didn't feel like it was a bad thing. It just felt like people were going to see something change and realize that they can do that everywhere, or something of that effect. I could be wrong about that and how that comes through, because they could take something that we would look at as a catastrophe and make it sound like rainbows and kittens. So it's like, right. Oh yeah, that's going to happen, but look what happened. Look where it takes you. That's what you need to look at. And it's like, oh yeah, but we got to get through all this first. And so but it was also interesting talking about the last year and a half of everything we've been through with like COVID and the changes that people have made and stuff like that, and realizing people are shifting in that awareness and taking more ownership of themselves and getting fed up with this and this and this and saying, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And more people are doing that. And so there continues to be some good things that are evolving from that as well. So that's good. That was kind of cool to see that perspective of it.
Very interesting. And besides the East Coast, they brought up the healing waters a little bit. Did you see anything new on your side about that? Was it in the ocean as well?
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The oceans might be the first place that we see something like that happening.
Or New Orleans.
I was seeing, yeah. You guys, please, please. One of the things I was
Go on a
seeing
cruise to get
is
it.
exactly. Where is it in the canyons where the water is really turquoisey and
Arizona?
I think it is Arizona, but I can't remember what the canyon's called where you can walk through and it's like this little river that you can walk through the canyon and stuff. And I can't think of what that's called. Somebody's going to comment though and tell us.
Oh, there's Grand Canyon, but I don't think you can walk.
Anything else?
Yes. So with that was very interesting with the currency, the abundance and financials and everything. That was interesting. So Daniel mentioned that it's going to come down to more than likely 3.
Yeah, and I'd never even heard of that before. You were saying that you had heard that before?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
If I ain't mistaken, what's his name? Lee Carroll, that channels.
Oh, yeah. Chiron or is that right?
Cryon.
Cryon.
I think, yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I listened to any of his videos, but yes, he mentioned something like that. It's going to come down to 3 currencies. So, and then how the currencies might be backed by like metals and certain beyond gold, beyond silver.
Hmm.
You know, there'll be other assets as well as backed it up by currencies. So, but you mentioned that this was the time of the year, which seemed very odd. I was not expecting that because of everything going on with the currency, the money systems, and that.
Right.
This was the year for like
right.
abundance and financing, but it kind of makes sense if you start learning it now and start training for it now.
It's going to set you up.
You're in that energy, and then it puts you in that path to start looking into it and learning those investment tips and how to create wealth and abundance and so on. And then whether you do it in 2021, you'll be on that path, and then it starts opening up opportunities for you. So
yeah, that does make sense. But it also made sense that, you know, if you think your idea of abundance is, oh, I just got that loan and they gave me more than I thought, not the same.
gotcha. Now, which I thought was funny because you know, I'm an investor, you know, that's what pays the bills. And I thought that was very interesting because some people are talking about the crash and everything, but with all crashes and all resets, it's just an adjustment of anything. So for you to get into it around that time, if there is an adjustment, you got in at that time, then that would be the best time because it would be low at a good price. It's like, you know, if you wanted that TV and you wanted to buy it, that would be the time to buy it because it would be on sale.
Right.
So
yeah,
very, very interesting. And then that website is Work to Invest, and I've been dealing with that website for 8 years now.
a long time.
5 years at least.
Very cool.
Deals with investments and everything. Did you see anything else on your side with the healing, like the health wise and everything? Was it more than just water? It was like our bodies and
it was like we start understanding how to calibrate our own energy to be in a healthy vibration.
Got it.
You know, when we are in a good mood, right, we're usually feeling pretty good. It's like, oh my gosh, I just got this excellent news. Let's go celebrate, And at the end of the day, you go, man, I was so excited about that. I forgot my back hurt, you know, that kind of thing. You hear people do that. We're just going to
relate to that
ourselves. Yeah. You get excited about something, you're in a good place, and all of a sudden you forgot about the ache and the pain and whatever. And then as things settle down, you kind of anchor back into that. It's a frequency, you know, we're rising ourselves up out of that frequency that holds the pain and the ailments and all of that. So learning how to do that. I think the healing waters is going to help us. Let's say you have I don't know, let's say a heart issue or something of that nature, or bad circulation. Now you raise yourself up in a vibration where that doesn't get worse. And then you drink the healing waters and it starts to bring your cells back into a healthy place and repairs the heart and the circulation and stuff like that. Clogged arteries, whatever you got going on.
Right.
And so the waters would help generate and help the body absorb the pollutants and dispel the toxins and do all that and get rid of it out of the body. So it might feel like a purge, might feel like you know, spending 3 days running back and forth to the restroom. But then when you're done, you'll be like, okay, I'm done detoxing. It's going to detox the, you know, the body of the things that are not good for it, the metals, the, you know, just the
yes
chemicals that get put in our bodies and stuff like that. And so it's going to help correct things and move us back into a healthier lifestyle, bring us out of these cravings that we have. You know, I was just talking to a friend of mine about that, going, oh my gosh, I used to be really good about being able to say no to sugary things, and now it's like, oh, that looks good. Next thing you know, I'm eating it. I was like, I got to get myself back on track, and it'd be something that would help us to lose those cravings for the sugary things or for the things that aren't good for the body. It would flush that out of the system. So that's the way I understand it anyways. So
next thing, you mentioned the pipelines. I thought that was, at first I was like, well, maybe you were talking about this, and then come to find out you was talking about this, and it was like,
I don't know. They were showing a pipeline. I don't know if this is new or old or what the pipeline thing was. I don't know. So
you don't watch the news, so you wouldn't know what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on. So maybe if you tell me, then that would, because I was getting in there going, what pipeline? I thought that was resolved years ago with them putting in a new pipeline. So is there one that they're having issues with?
There's two problems. So one of the pipelines got hacked by software. So they said it was a software virus of one of these pipelines that go from Houston, Texas to all the way up north. Like it goes to Charlotte, it goes to New Jersey, New York, if I ain't mistaken. So there's a pipeline that goes all the way, even through Baton Rouge. So this pipeline, and this is it's either oil or gas, and more than likely it's for fuel. It's for like gasoline and stuff. So without that pipeline, it's very, very expensive for trucks to transfer all this oil and fuel up north. And right now there's like lines at the gas station to get fuel on the East Coast.
Oh.
So, okay. And at first I was like, well, maybe not it's pipelines, but maybe you mean something else. Cause we even talk about pipelines at work, but we're not talking about that stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. I just saw a pipeline running from north to south in the United States. So that one that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I wasn't understanding if that was something new coming in or if that was something that was currently creating an issue.
Right. And that's the new thing. And then there's the pipeline where they shut down one of the pipelines from Canada to the United States. So
okay.
That was a huge deal, but that was a couple months ago.
I don't know. Whatever it is, I guess the message with it was if you're being affected by something like that, to see a different reality.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah. So create a different reality, see it working the way it needs to be working, or however that is. Because I think that was the message, is that there needs to be a shift in consciousness around it to create a different reality. It almost feels like, okay, it put everybody in this panic and this frustration and this detriment of energy, and it would be really simple to shift your energy and it'll shift the outcome. Maybe something will open up or whatever, it shifts something. So maybe that was their way of saying, as a collective, if you all can look at it differently, it'll shift the outcome and change your reality, and then you'll see how fast you can actually do that kind of stuff. When we all do it together, we can do it very quickly. That would be more of what I'm getting from what that message was than worrying about, you know, like pollution or something like that. My little dogs, they all want to stand right here.
They waiting on you.
That's good.
So the other thing I would like to say, you know, thank you, Daniel and Tracie, for the meaning of 8 again. I know we did a video about it as well, about numbers, but that was pretty cool when you, if you think about it, 8, create, you know, creator, and I was like, oh, okay, infinity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit more than what we probably got out of it before. So that's good. Yeah. And when they were doing the motion with the hands, it was like I could see this energy vibrating off the hands and going out, kind of like, you know, they show the little sonar off of bats or dolphins and stuff where they can show that rippling out. This kind of, you know, as you're moving the hand and that and sending it out. So you should play with that a little bit and see what happens when you set some intention for, not, I would say not even just the room and setting a mood, but like even with your finances or with your investments, this is going to go like this. This is going to go like this, you know, and be the,
like with your hand,
the infinity whisperer. It's going to go like this. It's going to go, I'm going to put an offer in on this house and they're going to accept it. And it's going to go easy and smooth and put that out there.
Gotcha. So make the 8 symbol with your hand.
Yeah, I would. Might as well.
Use
your superpower, Jason. Use it.
Now, do I go like this or do I go like this, like an 8?
You can do whatever you want. You could do it this way.
Does look a little bit odd if someone saw me doing this.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this investment. This new thing I wanted to put my money into.
You're gonna be like, is this some Jedi power thing you're trying to do?
You can sit there and draw it out on your lap or something. Just they'll just think you're fidgeting, right?
Oh yeah. Like, what's this guy doing? Trying to do some Jedi mind tricks.
The next show you guys were going to watch, and Jason's going to have the infinity symbol stickers all over the back wall there. Like, look at me.
I do see 8s a lot, so it was like, you know, I kind of see it going hand in hand. So that is interesting. Plus, like I mentioned on my Instagram channel, if you want to see pictures of the house, it's called Square 88 because that's the square number. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My address begins with number 8.
No mistakes in that. That's pretty cool.
No mistakes. Time to create.
That's right. You can make all kinds of little sayings out of that.
So the 0 point energy, that was pretty cool. Was there anything on your side to share about that? And
you know, I got to read Erica's, well, she sent me her first chapter, and to tell you the truth, I made it through 2 paragraphs of what she wrote, and it was so deep. Just the first 2 paragraphs of this book that she's writing were so deep that's when I had read the first 2 paragraphs, and then we started this conversation, and then it was almost like a hole opened up in the sky and dropped that down and then closed up. Because if you look at the canopy of trees, it's like, how would that even make it through there? The branches were all like this and weaving in and out. It was like, how did it even get down here? And the tree, the closest palm tree, was like, she goes, well, I don't even have a palm tree. The closest one is over there. And she's pointing way off in the distance. I'm like, how did that make it over here? So, I mean, unless a bird carried it and dropped it or something, but, you know, still the timing, and then when we looked it up, I'm trying to remember what it was about. It was about, I think it was about creating with integrity or something. Anyways, it was really a cool, when we looked it up, the saying with it was really cool. But
did y'all look up the meaning of the palm tree? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or a falling.
I think I did this. Hey, Google, what is the meaning of a palm leaf? mine did cut off. Hey, Google, what is the meaning of a palm leaf?
According to Salisbury Greenhouse, across eons and cultures, palm leaves symbolize victory with integrity, a meaning reinforced when we look skyward to see the leaves.
I don't know why it keeps cutting off, but that was
That's
kind of
pretty
the
cool.
idea. Yeah, victory with integrity. Okay. So yeah, there's something about that conversation about us going into this place, and the way that she describes it, I can't even do it justice. And so when that book comes out, we'll definitely have to get her on here and talk to her about it.
That would be my
because-
next response, is that once when that's done, we can definitely do video collaboration of some sort.
Yeah, I would love to
Learn
do that
more
with
about
her
it.
and share that. Yeah.
Book interview.
So yeah, and it's going to be a good one. I mean, she has studied so much about the law of one, raw. How does this all apply? I mean, she's shown me her study, the stuff that she studied on it, and then she's getting a download of how to put it all together.
Perfect.
And
Is this her studying the books, Law of One, or is this her studying other books? Because they got those books.
probably it's the law of one. It's different resources of the law of one, different, like David Wilcock, the books that she's gotten, her own downloads of information and how she interprets it, and putting it all together, and then putting it in a format or a verbiage that is comprehensible by someone like me that is reading it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I got this on so many different levels. That was how I felt after reading just 2 paragraphs. I was like, it's like my conscious self got it, and then this higher level self of me got it, and then like this more expansive part of me was like, oh, I get how that works. And even though I don't understand those other parts, there's still the part of it that I did understand. And that was just 2 paragraphs. So I think it's going to be a pretty powerful book.
Nice. Well, I look forward to it because I think it's interesting.
It's going to be very, very interesting.
And for her, she's going to put all these pieces together from her point of view.
Yeah. And she's got, I think she said a series of 3 books that she's got in mind that they all kind of piggyback on each other.
Oh, okay.
So
she's going to be busy.
Yeah. I told her, chop, chop. We need to hear these things. We need these things in writing. Get on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, our 2021 second half is the year of creating. So, and if it deals with abundance, she'll be in that energy of making that book.
Yeah. Hope so. So yeah, get her to put more of that into. So I think she got her first chapter down on how long it took her and how many chapters there are, but I have to keep encouraging her. Did you write today? Did you write today? We're ready to hear what you have to say. Get it out there. So yeah.
Very, very nice. Well, I think that is everything. It's 9:30 my time. I think was there anything else that we needed?
Sleepy out there?
Yeah. Oh, I do have one more question. So water, I'm assuming with everything going on, I'm assuming this deals with the age of Aquarius, but when does that start? Did that already start? Or?
The age of Aquarius started last December.
Oh, okay.
And
what does that
they
mean?
brought up the Cthulhu thing too. Yeah. So Master Cthulhu would be a good one to call on if you want to participate more heavily in that age of Aquarius, which is we went from an earth sign, the age of the earth sign, where things are more physical, to Aquarius, which is an air sign, which is more mental. So what they're saying is that this new age, we're going to see a lot more. We thought we saw a lot of advancement in our technology before. This is going to be even more so, because people are now in the air sign is about thinking, about the mind, getting into their creativity, and creating more technology. So
You mentioned air sign. Is it air sign or water sign?
Aquarius, oddly, is an air sign. The water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and
Oh, so Aquarius is
oh,
air. Is that what
yeah, Aquarius is an air sign, which is funny because you would think Aquarius would be water, but it's air.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Mhm.
Sorry, people. Learning.
Yeah.
Rookie.
But we can segue that back into the technology creating the frequency like you were talking about. I hadn't even thought about that, and then as you mentioned it, they were like, well, yeah, of course it can. There's probably parts, different parts of our government or whatever that already have access to stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, that was part of the YouTube videos that I was listening to today, and they were talking about stuff like that. I was like, man, that's a shame. So, but
they don't use it.
yeah, but everything happens for a reason, and patience is a virtue.
Yeah, or we learn how to do it without them.
That's right.
We've got the power. So
it'll bubble up to the top. That's for sure. Especially if it's meant to be for the mass collective, it will happen. So, what was the other thing? Oh, with the technology, with the frogs. So they mentioned frogs, and the guy kept on bringing up frogs, and I'm like, okay. And then I hear a frog, which happens to be your dog. And I'm like, where's that frog coming from?
What's happening here? So there's your theme. You need to look up the frog. So, yeah, that would be a good thing to dabble in.
Well, if it goes off the video, it wasn't too much of a good thing, but I think what he was trying to relay over to the individual he was talking to is that people bringing up frogs, and the lady didn't understand what he was talking about, but they were talking about the meme with Pepe the Frog. I think that's where he was getting at, and she did not understand that reference. So, but
I don't understand that reference either. But the amphibian collective is one that is very much about the water, and they live off of. They have very small mouths. They have long little suction cuppy fingers, and they have kind of frog-like skin. And they drink a lot of water, and they gather a lot of their nutrients from the sun and some vegetation, but mostly they get what they need from the sun and from the water. And so when you say frog, I think of the amphibian collective that I've had come through in different sessions and stuff. Where
okay, and they live here. What you're saying?
There's some people that are very connected to these, that in their ascension session they connect with these amphibian groups, and what happens is their diet starts to change and they become more vegetarian, and they're like, I'm so thirsty all the time, and I notice that I don't eat meat anymore and all this stuff, and they're starting to notice that they're shifting in that. And then when they get into the ascension session, their amphibian group comes through, and they learn that it's because they're getting a lot of what they need from the sun and from the water. And then as the water becomes more healing, I'm sure we're going to also be eating a lot less, because we're not looking for
Right, your nutrients are being provided more and more through the water.
Yeah. So,
Very interesting. So the amphibian group, they're already here, or is it like another dimension, another planet that they live on?
They would be just like they're not here in the form of amphibians. No, they're here and they're reincarnated in as humans. Like we've had experiences on other planets and then came into this one, same kind of thing. There's people here that are connected to that collective, but as far as I know, they're not walking among us in the amphibian form. I think they're just coming through as channels and as information.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking if they were living in the oceans or the rivers, that kind of.
It's possible. It's possible, but I think a lot of these collectives are waiting for the vibrations to rise up, because right now to come into our oceans or into our environment, unless it was a very secluded part of the world where it's not being affected by all the stuff going on, the vibrations aren't you know, they're a collective, they're a collective consciousness. So what affects one affects all kind of thing. So they don't want to disrupt that frequency with coming in here and getting that duality craziness.
Interesting.
But as we develop that fifth dimension, as we get that reality going, then from what I understand, we're going to be looked at like a vacation planet, like other planets want to come here and visit. And
that's
because it's beautiful here.
And that's what we were at one time. This planet was for your vacation, to experience, to have fun, to live, to not grind every day, not, you know, hustle and bustle every day. This was more like,
look what we did with that.
Oops.
Yeah, so
thousands and thousands of years working.
there's a lot of fun collectives out there. I had one the other day that had kind of that metallic shell like a beetle would have. You know how they can kind of have that shiny metallic look to them.
Yeah.
And they had these antennas, and they were showing the client her ability to use to be in their energy, or they, you know, to combine the energies so she could feel what it was like to be in their energy and use those antennas as sensories. Like, what are you picking up with these antennas? Like the vibration in the air and the earth, and, you know, how did these creatures survive? But these were the galactic collective of this version of what we see as a beetle. They are a collective, and they have these amazing abilities, not just telepathy with each other, but also their sensories of what's going on around them. It's kind of like a superpower. And so it was kind of fun to be in that energy with that too. But I had never talked to those guys before, and they showed up last week. So that was kind of fun.
And one of your Ascensions sessions?
Yeah. So they came in and were communicating with the client, and it was really interesting. So she had them, the mantis, they had talked about the ant beings and all this different stuff. And then at the end of it, she goes, well, I didn't tell you this, but, oh, and the crickets came in too. The crickets came in, or grasshoppers came into her session. And she goes, well, I didn't tell you this, but I got like, I don't know, she got like an iguana or something of that nature, a little
the iguana didn't eat the crickets.
Chameleon or something like that. And she said, and it's horrible because I have to feed him crickets. And I feel so bad, like I'm betraying these crickets. And now I understand it because I'm so connected to the insects. And she goes, and I went out and I bought a praying mantis because I'm just fascinated by him. And so I had a pet praying mantis. And so she was telling me she has this connection to all these insects. And I had no idea about that before the session started. And so to have them all show up for her in her session was very validating for her, that this is a connection that she has with them. And that's why she was feeling that way when she was feeding this little chameleon. She said she set up a whole different environment for the crickets. She didn't just leave them in a little bag or whatever, or just she made them their own little home because she was feeling bad that she was feeding them to the chameleon. But her love and compassion, she was like, I was so surprised that I was so concerned about these little crickets. And so anyways, again, these every day there's something new that comes in, or some interesting little facet, and that was one of them. You know, it's like I'm sitting there going through this channel with her thinking, why are the ant beings? Why are the bees? I'm seeing all these insects. Why am I seeing all these insects? And her responses were very minimal coming back to me. You know, she was just like, yeah, And so I was like, is she really resonating with this? What's happening? And Daniel just keeps talking to her about them. And then at the end, she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, when you started bringing all that in, I was just like, oh, it all makes so much sense now. So, you know, it's like, it's just an interesting life to bring these kinds of beings in and experience them in that way. And then, you know, to go outside. I'm sitting outside today, and there was these little flies landing on the little canopy that I was sitting under. I was sitting there going, oh, don't tell me I'm going to have fly people next. But yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of cool things that happen in this. That was fun to experience what the antennas felt like. So that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
I know it's getting late over there. I should probably let you.
Yeah, it's about
Wrap
that
her up.
time. That's about that time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. Leave your comments below, especially what we had a pink rose. We had something else. Man, what was the other thing? The pink rose.
Guys with the whiskers. Somebody's talking to them.
Yeah, the beard.
They're supposed to do something, right?
Cat. That was the other thing.
Go get a cat.
So make sure you comment below, and then also don't forget to stay to the end of this video because there's a bonus video that me and Tracie created, a little bonus video. So that's a little bonus for y'all, and it's at the end of this video. And then after that, like I said, for those meditation videos, those meditation music videos, that's on another YouTube channel where I'm going to put those videos. So if you enjoyed those videos and you like them, it's going to be on that channel.
And that's going to be a link below in the description box, right?
Absolutely. All the websites and descriptions to those channels will be listed below.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Good to see you again, Jason. It's been a long time.
It's only been 3 months.
Yeah, a lot can happen in 3 months. Yeah, new houses happen in 3 months.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's a whole new world, a whole new background. And all of you guys, we will be back again. You got a few more projects to do, so we're not sure when we're getting back together again, right? But
yeah, absolutely. But you know, I'll keep you in a loop, but everything's getting slowly but surely back to normal. So
love it. Yes, so you'll see more of these videos coming back again. Exactly. I told you guys we weren't fighting.
Oh no. We had to take a break.
Just had to get some stuff done.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. It was just nonstop. Go to work, come home, start working on the house, 10 o'clock, get ready for bed, and repeat. Yes. Weekend, same thing.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested in any of those workshops that I brought up in the chats today, please go to my website, traciemahan.com. Check that out. I have all 3 workshops bundled together for the price of 2. You get 3 for the price of 2. So it's
good. Yeah. So it's still available. Like,
oh yeah, the recordings of them are available, and that'll be on my website. There's so much more I could say, and I just won't. If you're drawn to it, just go to the website and go check it out. So,
perfect. And the link will be below in the description.
All right, you guys have a wonderful week ahead, and whenever you're watching this, may all your blessings and dreams and wishes and prayers come happen.
Don't forget the year of abundance.
Right. What is it you desire? I like it. All right.
Dreams.
Thank you, Jason.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm catching Jason up because we haven't been together doing this for a while. So I'm catching him up on what you guys might already know if you've been watching my videos over on my page, and that is about the healing waters returning to the surface of the earth. So I've been telling him about this journey. It started in Sedona when a group of us had gone there. We rented the house, and there was a little creek that was running behind the house. I was sitting by the creek, and I was looking at how clear the water was, and I could see the little fishes in there, you know, and I'm watching them, and I'm thinking in my head, boy, the water is sure clear and pretty. And I heard another voice in my head say, the water's pretty, but it's not what it used to be. It's time to bring the healing waters back. And so then they had me run some energy. So I'm sitting there running energy, and they said, no, run the energy where the sun is hitting the water. And the sun had been coming through the cloud or through the trees right behind me, and literally right behind me. So instead of doing this, I just moved my hand over this way, and I was running the energy, right? So then I get back from that trip and I had a couple of ascension sessions. I didn't say anything about the waters to anybody. A couple of ascension sessions where one, the gal went, she lived by mountains. I won't disclose what area.
Okay.
And she had these beings come grab her and wanted her to follow them. So she follows them and they take her into the earth and she sees this beautiful waterfall inside the earth of this amazing electric blue color. And knowing what I knew about what I heard in Sedona, I'm sitting there going, ooh, I wonder if that's the healing waters. So Daniel's asking the questions, right? But I'm an influencer as far as being a conscious channel. So I said, ask her if those are healing waters. So in the session, I don't think he directly asked that. He asked, what does the electric blue water do? And she said, oh, it's very healing water. So same thing. And they said, well, what is it why are they showing you this? And she said, because it's time for us to bring it back to the surface. Same message, right? Go to another session, QHHT session.
This would be number 3, right?
Yeah. So I can't remember what the other water one was. There was another water one, and I'm blanking it right now, with an ascension session. Then I go to a QHHT session. And again, I'm not saying anything to these people about my experience with this water stuff. And this gal, she goes through a past life. She transitions out of the past life. She goes to what could be assumed as heaven. You know, she goes into this other space, and I'm asking her, well, okay, so where do you go? Oh, I'm standing by water. Oh, you're standing by water. Yeah, and there's 2 big energy beings. They look human, but they're energy, and they're standing here with me. And who are the energy beings? Oh, those are source. Those are like God. They're source energy. And well, why are they there? Oh, they're showing me in the air. People can't see this, but in the air, there's these strings. And if you play them right, like a harp or something of that nature, then you put codes into the water, and then it makes it, basically what she was saying also is that it changes the water. What does it change it to? Well, it's more healing. So it's like, here we go again. So here it is in this session too. So when I went to the beach, so this is why all this story is being told. Again, I told this story already, so some of you may have already heard it. So when I went to the beach, I was drawing light language symbols in, but I did forget one more piece. So I had this gal that really, really wanted a session before I left. And so I squeezed her in the morning before we left for the beach. And I brought my kids. It was a family thing. Went to the beach. Anyway, she really wanted in. So I squeezed her in that morning, and we did her session. And she knew I was going to the beach. And she goes, you know, last time I was at the beach, I did all this light language into the sand, and she had this most beautiful story of putting the light language in the sand. So that's where the idea to do that came from. And I thought, how interesting. Okay, right before I go to the beach. So we go for 2 nights. So it's the second day I'm there, and we had the dogs with us, a little chaotic, right? And I was a glutton for punishment, but here we are, 3 dogs, 3 kids, beach. And my youngest one and his girlfriend, they take off with the dogs, and I was down by the water with them. And I'm thinking, and on the way down to the water, I found one of those little metal tent stake things that, you know, they're just those little wire bent metal.
Yeah, like for tent.
Yeah, to anchor tents down with. And I thought, ooh, I better pick that up before someone steps on it. So here I am holding this tool that I can scribe into the sand. So I'm down, the tide's out, I'm writing all this light language in, there's nobody around me, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Because it was really busy there. It was such beautiful weather, and so there was a lot of people there. So I'm doing all this in the sand, and I finally feel like I did enough, and I know the waves will come in and wash it away. And so I'm saying my little light language and sending prayers out and calling in the healing waters back to the surface. And I start walking back to where we had set up on the beach, and I hear, go back and put your feet in the water, and when you do that, you'll find another sand dollar. Oh. I had already found 2, which was very rare. I don't think I'd ever found a whole sand dollar that I can recall. And here I found 2 the day before, and they're telling me I'm going to find another one. And I thought, oh, okay, whatever. So I go back, I put my feet in the water. It's really cold because it's Oregon. And so I don't last long. And then I look over, and as the water's coming out, you can see where all the little broken sand dollar pieces are because it causes a ripple there, right? And this one spot catches my eye. I thought, well, I'm just going to go check and see if that's my sand dollar. I walked right over to it, picked it up. There it was, a whole sand dollar. End of story. So yeah, so my message was to everybody, I talked about this on the metaphysical hour with Julia, and it's just like, we got to listen. When we listen to these little nudges, sometimes it actually does take us somewhere. So the fact that I actually turned around and walked straight to a whole sand dollar, and I'm telling you, I'm 50 and I don't think I've ever found one. And I live,
Yeah, I think
we've been to the coast quite a few times.
Yeah, I think
So
I heard about that. Out of all the beaches I've been to, it's always like cracked or broke. You don't.
they're always
find them whole.
broken. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So it was pretty exciting to find them. And so now I have them over on my little altar, and they're just bringing in good juju into the house.
Okay, so to circle back, so one of your sessions, this was a QHHT session for one of them, correct?
Yes.
All right. So in that session, they brought up the healing water. So what did it do, or what was it exactly? Like, how did that come about? Was there a reason for it, other than like we need to heal the water? But
Well, yeah. So there used to be healing water on the surface of the planet.
Okay.
Probably what people would refer to now as like the fountain of youth or something of that nature.
Just
right.
slap it on.
Obviously, I found it.
Yeah, that's right. Going strong.
So where we're at now with the raising of our frequencies and and people stepping into their ascension. So everyone out there listening, good job. You're bringing the frequencies up. The healing waters can come back because it's everything is a frequency, right? So to sustain the healing waters on the surface would take us having a certain frequency on the surface. So I imagine not everywhere will be, and right off the bat, I imagine it wouldn't be able to come up everywhere, but in that spot in Sedona, it felt like that was the spot that, you got Sedona, you got the vortexes, you got all the spiritual people going to Sedona.
Was the water like crystal clear?
It was really clear. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Louisiana would be last.
Well, somebody had sent a thing saying, oh, I think they lived in New York, and they said, our water's black like your shirt. And I was wearing this black shirt. It's like, one of the
best waters, from the
right.
planet, I think.
I don't know. So anyway, so yeah, it has to do with frequencies and what we've been doing and what we've been working on. And it was just neat to have that message come in, and then have this. I mean, the whole week after that was everyone had something to do with water in their session. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything about the water beforehand. And I don't even think I had made a video yet that I put on my YouTube or anything. So it was really interesting to have it come in and have people go right there to the water, and just more and more confirmation that we are making some changes. They're wonderful changes, and we're going to get the benefits of that. The water, bless our water when we drink it. And, just we're made of water. So as we're bringing back the healing water and we're drinking it, we're cooking with it, we're bathing in it, whatever, it's going to start rejuvenating the cells of the body and do all kinds of great things for us. So everybody needs to be on this.
Now, is the healing water, was it hitting somewhere like below the ocean, underneath, or is it just a hidden like frequency that needed to be changed?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe that'll be one that we can get clarity on. Like
when it was like, hey, we need to bring it back. Was it like
well, somewhere? So the healing waters for the one session, the healing waters were in the mountain. They took her into the inner earth, and the healing waters were there. They just weren't on the surface. So it was bringing it back to the surface.
And also,
and it is a frequency, because the QHHT session, she was hitting certain pitches with those strings that she was literally moving her hands around playing with these strings in her session, like her eyes are closed and she's doing all this. And she says they're showing me how to hit these strings just right to put the codes into the water. And so it is a frequency or a sacred geometry, whatever it is, a code, whatever you identify with. It is something that they're shifting with the water.
And when did we lose it? That would be an interesting question.
Yeah, that
Like
would
when,
be.
What happened to lose it?
Yeah.
Did
So-
Atlantis have something to do with it?
I know, that's what popped in my head too. Get Sarah on here. Sarah,
Sarah.
we need to know what happened. But yeah, that would be a good question. Might have to throw that in.
She'd be like, oh my God, let me look. Let me see.
Yeah. Is it in your book, Sarah? So
I need to finish that book. So with me moving, it stopped.
no, I know.
Everything stopped.
I know. I got to get through it myself, and I feel bad because it's that slow moving thing. For me to sit down and actually read something, yeah, it just doesn't happen. And then I thought, oh, I'll do it while I'm at the airport. And then I pulled the book out, and there was kids running around screaming and noise everywhere, and I was just like, I'm not retaining anything. So, yeah.
And Sarah was saying the best stuff's at the end of the book too. I was like, oh, good.
Yep. There's Buddy.
Oh, look, you got the cat too.
I got a cat.
I thought I saw something else down there.
No, but I have this one that's now they're practically all climbing on me. This one's being grumpy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you guys are going to witness her dark side. Okay.
Is there not another dog on the floor?
Yeah, there's a third one.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, not worried, but I was like, I'm gonna look at that video again. I saw something else down there.
This one was sitting behind me the whole time. She hasn't done that in a long time, so it must be when I talk to you that she likes to do that. So there you go.
Nice.
Your spot. So there we have it. You have all the dogs and their heavy breathing, and I am going to tell you, I think there will be a window opening up tonight in this room because it hasn't been this warm in here in a long time. That's a hot sun.
What's the temperature at night?
It's probably 55, 60 at night.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
good.
Today it was in the 70s and sunny all day, and it was beautiful. But I spent a lot of that inside with the session. But I came home and sat down out in the sun for a little bit, got my download before we started.